In that way, it's just like kind of like double standard. Like, no,
It is a double standard.
You shouldn't do that, but I can do it because it's like our standard median is better than yours because it's been around for hundreds of years. It's like, no.
So one thing I've been thinking of a lot lately, and like things that I've heard other people say, and like even in my life, is like how games, one, are for kids, and two, how they're a waste of time. So let's just talk about the games for being for kids thing at the moment. I mean, like it's so much has changed. Like I could see like how a lot of especially older people that might not have grown up with it think that, especially when just for kids. I mean, there's a lot of examples of
It's kind of
of
childish.
games. Yeah, but it was a childish thing. It was like something that nerds and losers would do and stuff like that, or people that didn't have a career or whatever. Like it was just something that was seen as, I don't know, like just
Waste of time.
a waste of time and childish. Like, oh, what are you doing with your life, kind of thing. Like this is what kids do to pass time by. And I mean that now is so different. I think like just looking at games like Uncharted or The Last of Us or stuff like that are so story driven, and these are the easiest ones really to compare, I think. If you compare them to films, that like they're not childish at all anymore. Like if anything,
Nope.
I think that games now are a much more mature experience because one, they don't have that same, like when something goes into a Hollywood production, they're trying to see like how can we reach the most audiences, how can we not piss anyone off. There's so much money and fundraising from different corporations and stuff going into it that it's a very like bought experience a lot of time, and like it's not, a lot of times I feel like they're not honest in what they want to say about their opinions, whereas in games, like at least at the moment still, like it's very like there's some artists behind it and they have something to say and they do it. Like there aren't as many limitations I feel at the moment in gaming, especially in the indie gaming area, where you see a lot of breakthrough kind of social topics being talked about or shown or whatever. Like they're very mature experiences. So it's not for kids anymore. Like if someone still thinks that gaming is for kids, I think they don't know at all what gaming is, and they've probably never really gamed since probably playing Mario or something. But what do you think about that?
Well, the culture before was obviously very anti-gaming because you obviously could be doing something much more valuable with their time. But I think gaming has been a little more accepted because it's obviously now shown that you can play some games and it's a nice stress relief or whatever. Or if you somehow become competitive League of Legends player, then obviously you can make money in it. So I think that's the other thing, is that a lot of people would just spend so much time in gaming that they would technically lose their life in it, where you wouldn't get anything out of it. Like being a professional Super Mario Bros. Player, for example, obviously I don't think there was any, but you didn't make any money out of it. There was no purpose in it. But now, obviously, we want to get into YouTube with like gaming and stuff. So
Yeah,
where we could make money in gaming, where I think before it was kind of like, Tommy, why are you doing that when you could be, becoming a doctor or something? Like
study those sciences and those
yeah,
maths.
so it was kind of like, I think that was kind of like the notation, because there was literally, it didn't seem like you had a future in it if you spent so much time in it, where now I think there is. Like you could have a future in gaming if you put the time in and get the connections and all that. So yeah, I think that's one of the big changes.
Whether it's through streaming or YouTube or professional like MLG and leagues and stuff like that. And yeah, again, so that's a huge thing. Yeah, that's a really good point. That changes the gaming landscape. It actually has a purpose in a lot of people's lives now, aside from entertainment, of course. But it can actually be a career path. And then the other thing is, again, like we see experiences in games now that are much deeper than any film or even some TV shows now are amazing. Like we're in the golden age of TV shows, but like previous TV shows from like 10 years ago and stuff, like if you play through like a 16-hour game or something, you're getting in my opinion, a lot more value and like better experiences and better writing in a lot of games today than movies and stuff like that. So, but the other thing that sometimes is really annoying is when people specifically say it's a waste of time. So you'll have someone that watches fucking like cable media news every night and football and sports and all this shit, or not shit, but like things that it seems really hypocritical of them saying gaming is a waste of time when it's like, hey dad, you watch fucking football for like 3 hours every night, or whatever it is, or cable news, like get with the times, go to the internet, get more unbiased information. So it's just so annoying when people think it's a waste of time when they themselves, you could just as easily say what they're doing is a waste of time.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that a lot of people say about Twitch is, I'm pretty sure it's also a meme about Twitch, is that when someone comes up to you and it's just like, why are you watching this on Twitch? So maybe it's like a League of Legends tournament or a Hearthstone tournament, or just some guy playing, I don't know, StarCraft 2 or Uncharted, for example.
Yeah.
Where they'll say that to you and then they'll walk over to their TV and turn on football, for example, like Ansgar said.
Or a reality show, which is even worse.
So it's like, why is it all right that you can waste your time on watching your TV show or your sport when you could? Because most people have some friends that, like, if you're a huge football person, you probably have friends that played football or are into football. Why don't you go to a field and throw a football around? Like, so in that way, it's just like kind of like double standard. Like, no, you
is a double standard.
You shouldn't do that, but I can do it because it's like our standard median is better than yours because it's been around for hundreds of years. It's like, no, that's so wrong in my opinion, because I like Twitch, so it's like, no.
I mean, YouTube and Twitch specifically are, especially for a lot of the new generation, like that is their television. That is going to be the future of television too, in my opinion, is maybe not specifically YouTube and Twitch, who knows what happens with those companies, but that type of media where it's content creators from all over the world giving you entertainment, and it's honest entertainment, it's fun entertainment, it's just as legit as TV and TV shows. And I mean, I could talk shit about like my parents' reality TV shows or whatever all day long, right? But we as kids don't walk up to them and call them fucking idiots and stuff for watching their reality TV shows and Biggest Loser and all this shit, right? Like, if you like spending your time that way, fine. Let me spend my time the way I want to. It's entertainment. It doesn't have to be a book or a sport that you're watching, like whatever floats your boat, right? And
whatever gets you by, pretty much. Like, entertainment's there to like relieve stress and all that. If that's how you have to do it, so be it. I'm not one to judge.
Or even like, I mean, a lot of people that are really into reading books and stuff like that, and think like there's a lot of like book elitists that think like, especially compared to like film and video games, where it's like, oh, the book is the more legit experience and books are for intelligent people and stuff like that. Where it's like, no, I mean, that's probably how you were raised or what you grew up with. That's fine that you like books. I like books too, but you can get the same, like, entertainment is entertainment, no matter whether it's music or written down or if you're playing it or if you're watching it. It's all different forms of entertainment, and it's all equal because it's whatever you like to do, or how you like to experience your entertainment, right? Yeah. So like those arguments always annoy me so much, where it's like...
So I think deep down, the answer to like both of them is that people are just afraid of change, to be completely honest. Yeah. Like, oh, this new thing that, you know, all the youngsters are doing to be rebellious, to play video games and stuff, you know, it's like, I don't like that because I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know how to use this controller, so why? Yeah. I don't want to learn how to use A and B and a D-pad when it first came out. Like,
or the two thumbsticks together.
Yeah, like, it's like, what is this? Like, some people obviously really liked it and some people didn't. And at the same time, I think that's the one thing, is like, how can you get a career in gaming? Like, how can you do this? Like, I think that's the part where it was like just this huge scary thing. And it's just like, no, you can't do that, because how are you gonna make money on YouTube like everyone else that goes and gets a trade and all that? And it's just like, well, look at this guy like who has a Ferrari because he went on YouTube. Like I think that's the one thing. I think that's kind of like why most people don't rather think it's just for kids, because you can waste some of your time when you're a kid. Like you go to school, you go home, do your homework, and then you go and play some video games, or you go outside and kick a ball. Like, and then obviously it's a huge waste of time because you don't know how the big scary gaming universe might suck Ansgar and Sam's bank's account because we're not,
or turn you into psychopaths. Which this is a whole different topic, but I mean the whole violence thing too and everything. But people, what they don't know, they don't understand, and they're scared of it. And that's just sadly the way it is. And who knows, maybe we'll be in that situation like 30 years from now or something. But
I think our generation's going to change that whole thing. Gaming obviously is probably one of the biggest mediums of entertainment.
Well, I mean, like if something new came out or something, right?
Yeah,
or
true.
All of a sudden they started brawling on the streets again and having gladiator fights, and we'd be like, watch this. But yeah, it's just, I think that boils down to it. What you don't know, you don't understand, you're scared of, you don't have an open mind towards it. And it's definitely not a waste of time any more than other entertainment media are. I mean, if you want to make the argument that sitting down playing video games is a waste of time, or reading a book is a waste of time,
you could say that about anything.
You could say that about a lot of stuff.
You
could literally tell scientists working at NASA that it's a waste of time because you're never going to figure out this shit before the sun expands and kills us all. So what's the point? Like if you wanted to, you could tell everyone everything's a waste of time.
You could tell a doctor that saving someone's life is a waste of time because 30 years down the road they're going to die anyways. I don't know. So to be completely honest, everything's just a waste of time if you put it that way.
Yeah, man, that's what life is all about. It's just wasting that time, counting down the minutes till you die, and making sure that it's fun while it lasts.
And I think on that bombshell,
we're going to leave it there. What do you guys think? I'm sure a lot of you have had similar experiences, whether it was with direct family or friends, or hearing it through other people's family or friends, that think that gaming is another waste of time and you're a piece of shit for doing it. So
so if you've had any of those experiences, or you've had nice positive reinforcement experiences,
there you go.
Where they say, "Oh, Johnny, you go play. You
play hard.
You go play that League of Legends or Super Smash Brothers Melee or StarCraft 2, whatever suits your boat. You go do it." If you have those kind of experiences, leave a comment. Maybe even leave a like if you did either. Maybe hit that subscribe if you like this video.
Yeah, man. Always new content every week, guys. All right. Have a good one.
Bye.